We're here with another video, and today we're talking about the Rode VideoMicro 2 and the Deity D4 Mini. Since I have to record this on a microphone, we're going to also test this against the Rode VideoMicro version 1. This is $80, $50, and the original Rode VideoMicro was $50 as well. So I'll leave affiliate links in the description below, and yeah, we're going to see the major differences and which one you should get. So let's start with the major differences between these two microphones and the VideoMicro. So the VideoMicro is just a cardioid pattern, so it's really everything in front of you, and then really no sounds in the back of you. Now these are super cardioid, so that essentially means that it does everything in the front of you, to the side of you, and then also just a little bit in the back. So if you're holding the camera, then you can also hear yourself as well. And that's really one of the main reasons why I'm checking these out, because one of these is staying with me. Now, one of the major differences that I see is the mount for this new Rode VideoMicro 2. And it's more of a solid mount, and it's the shock mount specifically, and it doesn't really bounce around, which is maybe one of your complaints of the Rode VideoMicro or even the D4 Mini. So let's check these out and see which one is the best. So I just unboxed these and took a look at both of these to see not really too much of a difference in size and weights. We'll weigh these and sort of give you those impressions. But I think the one major difference is that, first off, this one comes with a kind of wind muff that is, they give you two. So one very large one, and which is more for wind, and one maybe if it's just not so windy. And then for the D4 Mini, you get just the wind muff or the dead cat on here. So in addition to that difference, you also get two cables. So the TRS to TRS cable, which will go into your DSLR or your mirrorless camera or something like that. And then it also comes with a TRS to the TRRS cable. So that'll go into a cell phone or something like that. So you can get audio from many different devices, and it's nice that it comes with two, because the Rode VideoMicro first gen did not come with that. It just came with the one that goes into the TRS to the TRS, so that's something that's really nice. The other thing to note is that this D4 Mini has, and I'll show you here, has a microphone input and an output here. So that's something that's nice that the rest of these microphones do not have. And I'll take this off just to check here. Yep, they don't have it. So let's take these off so you can see the actual microphones and what these look like. So taking a look at these here, you can see, what do these look like? And I would say the D4 Mini looks very similar to the Rode VideoMicro first gen, and this Rode VideoMicro second gen looks much different. And you can also see that the mounts look very different as well. So you can see that the D4 bounces around quite a bit. And let me lock this in here so it stops moving like that. And you can see the shock mount from the second gen Rode VideoMicro is a lot more firm, and it doesn't bounce around nearly as much. So I think that's really a good design. But yeah, I think if you complain about that, that's essentially probably one of its biggest benefits, is that new design. Now I think let's get down to really what you want to know. How does it sound? So you've been hearing me on the Rode VideoMicro, and now we're going to switch to the D4 Mini and also the second gen of the Rode VideoMicro. So we're going to do back-to-back comparisons. So I'm going to try to say the same thing, except just name which microphone I'm talking on, and then you can see the differences there. Now I also want to try the difference settings as well. So right now I'm in my office and essentially speaking to you indoors in probably optimum conditions. And then we're gonna go outside and see what it's like there. And we're gonna use the wind muffs and different things like that. So let's get to it. And you can tell me what you like the best. And I'll give you my opinion at the end as well. Okay, so this is the Rode Video Micro 1st Gen. How does it sound? Does it sound better than the other ones? This is the D4 Mini. How does it sound? Does it sound better than the other ones? This is the Rode Video Micro Gen 2. How does it sound? Does it sound better than the other ones? Okay, so this is another thing to note is that this is the Rode Video Micro 2nd Gen, but the microphone is no longer facing me. I'm facing it the other way, and this is how it sounds if I'm facing the other way. This is the D4 Mini, and this is it facing the other way, and this is what it would sound like if it was me not facing the actual microphone. This is the Rode Video Micro 1st Gen, and this is what it sounds like when it's not facing me. This is the D4 Mini, and this is me speaking with it handheld in my hands, speaking right behind the microphone. So the super cardioid pattern should pick me up as well. Okay, this is the Rode Video Micro 1st Gen, and this is me hand holding it, and this is what it sounds like when I'm speaking behind it. This is the Rode Video Micro 2, and this is what it sounds like when you have it handheld and you're speaking behind the microphone. Okay, we are on the Rode Video Micro Gen 2, and it's a pretty windy day, or night, if you will, and we're gonna walk around and test it out and see how it sounds. We want to see if this is any better than the 1st Gen, and we want to see if it's better than the D4 Mini. Now, I'm gonna flip it around and then walk the same way back and see how it sounds when we flip it around as well. So this is what it sounds like with the dead cat and it being a pretty windy day out. And yeah, now we'll see what the others sound like. We're now on the Rode Video Micro 1st Gen. How does this one sound? Does it sound better? Does it sound $30 less than the Rode Video Micro Gen 2? Does it sound like it's the same amount as the D4 Mini from Deity? I don't know. You tell me which one sounds better. Sound off in the comments below. And flipping it over, this is the 1st Gen, so this is the cardioid. So it's not super cardioid, so you don't get the extra audio right from behind the camera. So this should sound less audible than the other two microphones with the super cardioid. Okay, last but not least, we have the D4 Mini. How does the D4 Mini sound in comparison to the Rode Video Micro 1 and Gen 2? Does this sound any better? Does this sound like it should be on the same level? $50 for this and an extra cable, and yeah, this is what that sounds like, and hopefully it sounds pretty good. What do you think? Sound off in the comments below. Flipping it around, now we have the super cardioid on the D4 Mini, and this should sound pretty decent, or at least similar to what it sounded like when I was speaking in front of it. So yeah, this is what the D4 Mini sounds like in comparison to the Rode Video Micro Gen 1 and Gen 2. So we are back with all of the tests done, and what do you think? I think it's pretty clear that the Rode Video Micro 2 sounds a bit fuller, and we're actually on that microphone now, and you may be able to tell the difference. I think the D4 Mini and the Rode Video Micro Gen 1 are pretty on par with each other. Honestly, I'm not a super great audiophile. When I was listening it to headphones, connected headphones to the computer, I really couldn't tell that big of a difference. The one major way I was able to tell the difference was by walking behind it and speaking to the camera. So honestly, it's really tough for $80 for this particular microphone, it's hard to argue for this because it's just like, it's $30 more, you know? And for roughly $30 less, you get the D4 Mini, which is a super cardioid with the TRRS and the TRS cables, and you know, you don't get the new design of the shock mount. We can show you these two, where you have the Rode Video Micro here, and you can see how easily this shakes here. Okay. And this one's about 8 grams lighter, so you can see this one still shakes pretty easily. And the other shock mount just doesn't shake. How this shock mount works, there's just so much less play in the shock mount, and I don't know, this may be a deal breaker for you in terms of needing something that doesn't move around nearly as much when you walk, and you may hear less noise if you're moving about. So that's something to note here, is this one specifically is pretty this one is really bad in terms of balance on the actual shock mount here. So yeah, I'd say this new model is definitely better, and it's definitely better than a lot of the shock mounts I think that these have. In addition to that, you know, I think the inputs of the D4 Mini, if you need that, then obviously going with the D4 Mini is your prerogative. That's something that you need to have. And I think with these microphones is that these are the ones that I'm going to use unless I'm in a pro setting, and it's because no battery. You know, how can you go wrong with no batteries? So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't actually move to a wireless setup, is because now I have to worry about more batteries. And quite honestly, I don't really want to have to worry about more batteries, but this is actually something that I didn't think of being something that would lure me towards something different, you know, for an $80 mic. Now this is brand new, obviously prices will eventually come down and people may make new models that replicate this, and in that case it may be when you want to switch is when you find a $50 microphone that has a mount like this. If you're looking at the, let's say the first gen Rode Video Micro versus the D4 Mini, like if you're looking at these comparisons, I would definitely get the D4 Mini because they sound relatively similar, and you also get the input output here. And in addition to that, you get the TRRS and the TRS cable, as well as the same windsock. So yeah, I'd say the D4 Mini, being a super cardioid, helps you better, and honestly like is more versatile in that, you know, you can speak to the front of it and you can speak to the back of it. So that's something to note. If everything costs the same, would probably use the Video Micro 2 just because the sound sounds a bit fuller, and yeah, it has the nice shock mounts and it has the windsock and the TRRS and the TRS cables. So it comes with everything that you essentially need. Plus it comes with 2 wind muffs. So this one I guess you would have typically when you're going around, and this one if it's super windy. So yeah, it comes with 2 of these, but honestly, like I would probably only use this because this is just, there's too many choices for me, I feel like. So, and there's only so much space in an actual case and bag and stuff like that. So with that said, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you are looking for any of these, you can feel free to use the affiliate links in the description below. And this isn't a promotion for any of these. This is just my opinion on what I use. And also I get a little kickback from Amazon, but you still pay the same price if you use my affiliate links. So yeah, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.